Hello and welcome to another episode of Baking in Camouflage. Because it's so much manlier. It's been a while, guys, but you'll notice this is not the same desert camo I used in one of my previous Baking in Camouflage episodes, because I never used the same camo twice. That's how cool I am. Today's episode is all about Russian-style honey cake. Well, I think I've got nothing to add. Please enjoy. For the dough, just put about 450 grams, that's about a pound, of fine plain flour in a bowl, and add some baking powder. To that, add 50 grams of unsalted butter. Bring the butter to room temperature first, and give that a good mix. Okay, plan B. Lose the blender and use your hand if you don't want to dust your entire kitchen. That's a lot of flour and very little butter in comparison. Just mix it in, break up the butter pieces, and you should be good. Into a separate bowl, crack 5 eggs. There's no need to separate the egg whites from the yolks, just use 5 whole eggs. Add about 300 grams of honey and 300 grams of sour cream. Okay, I guess now I can use the blender without fear. Now you're supposed to pour that into the butter and flour mixture and give that a good mix. The dough has rights too, or so he told me, so let him rest for about anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour in the fridge. Okay, what follows is the most annoying part of making this cake, and the #1 reason I don't bake it too often. We're not supposed to put the whole dough in a spring form, which is greased by the way, and put it in the oven. No, we're supposed to make anywhere between 5 and 10 thin layers of dough. So what you want to do is just take about a scoop of the dough and spread it rather thinly in the spring form. Keep in mind that the dough will rise in the oven because of the baking powder. And I have prepared a second spring form of the same size that I greased as well. So I can always have one spring form in the 220 degrees Celsius oven to maximize the efficiency of my time management. Okay, each layer goes in about 5 to 7 minutes, 220 degrees Celsius. Okay, the first one came out way too thick, so I spreaded the second one much thinner. And don't forget to re-grease the spring form after each batch of dough. So that's the first layer. Not as bad as I thought, but still a little too thick. It takes some practice between every layer, but this is the right amount of dough. You can actually see the bottom of the spring form, but that's okay. That's not too thinly spread. When you spread it like this, you'll get nice thin layers like this, and that's exactly what we're going for. Perfect. Wow. Okay, that's the last one. And I can give you the following advice. Use high quality spring pans, spring forms. It's still annoying, but it's so much easier and especially so much faster The two I'm using I just bought recently. They were a little expensive, but it really pays off. I think with my old springform I would have gone crazy. Those actually have knife-proof bottoms, so you can't really scratch them. And even if you have real thin layers, you can get them off the bottom without ripping them. Okay, I managed to get 8 layers from that dough I used. They are kind of lukewarm right now, but for the filling we have to let them cool actually down completely. Talking about the filling, for the creamy part we're going to use 400 grams of unsalted butter. Yes, you heard me right. This is a little more than half of the amount we need. Yeah, I know. Also we need 400 milliliters of sweetened condensed milk. Now pretty much all over the world you can get that in cans of 400 milliliters each, but in Austria apparently you can't. At least I don't know where to find it. So I have to use this product. It's exactly the same, but it comes in 170 gram tubes. A little advice for my fellow Austrians who are watching this right now: don't use Maresi. I know it's condensed milk, but it's not sweetened, and more importantly, it's not nearly as thick enough. It's way too thin. We're going for a high viscose texture like this one. You see, really more like a paste actually. And as if the fat content wouldn't already be enough, add 300 grams of sour cream. Now give all that a good mix. Apparently my butter is too cold, so my blender is having a hard time. Pour some cream over that. Distribute it evenly. Right, I ran out of cream, so unfortunately it looks kind of naked, or like a pancake stack of some sort. The only thing left to do is to let the cake sit like this, maybe under cover, overnight at room temperature. But after that first night at room temperature, you'd be well advised to put it in the fridge until you have consumed it.